Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. So for you guys today, I'm going to be doing, I think this will be the 6th video in my palette series. I'm going to be using the Jaclyn Hill Volume 2 palette. This is what it looks like. It's also going to be like a review and second impressions of this. It's been a while since I reached for it, but I remember really liking this palette when I used it, and I do remember that like a couple of times that I've worn it out, I've gotten compliments on the looks that I've gotten with it, so I just wanted to give it another go. But anyway, if you guys are new here, hi, my name is Shanna. I am not a makeup artist in any way, shape, or form, so please take my techniques with like advisory caution. I've never claimed to be a makeup artist, and I honestly probably never will be. Also, I'm slightly colorblind, so if I tell you something's pink and it's orange, or I tell you something's red and it's purple, forgive me. I do that quite often, even in my real life. It's why I wear black most of the time, even though I know my favorite color is purple. So yeah, if you guys enjoy this video, please do not forget to subscribe and give it a thumbs up. And I almost said I'll see you all in my next one. Let's get started. There it is. Let's get started. Why aren't you stopping? Okay, so I've prepped my eyes in the way that I've seen Jaclyn do many times. I just used some concealer and a little bit of powder on my eyes, and now I'm going to go in with the shade Love Handles, which is a very light colored brown. It's the third one on the top row, and I'm going to put that in my actual crease. So not like where I normally put my eyeshadow, because I normally put my eyeshadow above my crease. I'm going to put it into my crease and blend out. And I'm just using a Laura Lee Los Angeles blending brush. Okay, let's see if we can build that color up. That is actually like a really good transition shade for me, because I am so fair. You do have to build it up a little bit, but once you build it up, like I only dipped in twice. Once you build it up, it is a very nice light brown. It does blend out really easily and diffuse really nicely as well. Okay, so I'm going to take a clean blending brush and go in. I'm going to make this like a red themed look. I've got foundation on my neck because I used my Anastasia foundation, and it's too it oxidizes to be too tan on me. So like my face in real life is so bronzed. I didn't realize like the sun washed me out this badly, but I am literally like, I'm so tan right now in real life. It's actually ridiculous. I'm going to take, let's use a ColourPop brush. I'm going to go in with the shade Heart On, which is the 6th color down, or the 6th color over on the 3rd row. It looks to be like a pinky fuchsia-y red color to me. 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah. And I'm gonna put that in the exact same place that we just put love handles. And just kind of there's that. That went on really nicely. I'm just gonna go back in with that and see if we can't build it up, because it's not as deep as I want it to be. I want it to be like a really deep color. I mean, that's cute. It's just, I can't get over how white I look. Good Lord. Yeah, I'm going to go in with a deeper shade. I'm going to go in with a shade that's right next to Heart On. I'm going to use Live My Best. I'm going to use that same ColourPop brush. It's an E18. And I'm just going to put that right on top of Heart On, because I want a deeper red. That's better. That is actually a stunning color, except it's all over my nose because I blended in too far. Okay, hold on. Okay, so I did my other eye off camera up to the point where we were equal. I forgot to mention that Live My Best is a matte with micro glitter in it. And I would say that if you're going to use this palette, make sure you use very small blending brushes, because it blends almost too well, in the sense that if you're not careful, you can blend it all over. So like, I stopped here like I normally do, but I ended up with it like on my nose, and it's kind of into my brow on this side. So if you don't like that look, just be careful of that, like be aware. The next color I want to use is excuse me. I'm gonna use the shade I'm gonna use the shade Crazy, which is the 6th shade on the bottom row. I also hate just how big this is, because I can't lay it like flat on my desk, but it's not, I can't lay it like this either. It wants to pop up. But Crazy is this shade right here. It's the 6th one over on the bottom row. And I'm going to tap that onto, this is in E129 brush. It's kind of like a rounded shader brush. And I'm just gonna like carefully pat that on my outer corner. And then, actually it's not very pigmented, is it? Okay, and then with what's left on that brush, I'm just gonna kind of blend it into above your corner, kind of flick it out a little bit. I just want to give, like, how did I end up with eyeshadow up there? My hands aren't even dirty. This is turning into a mess. Okay. Do it on my other eye now. Kind of like that. Can you guys see? I don't know how I feel about this anymore. But no, it's like patching off and flaking off. I used to really like this palette. So I'm just going to take like a Wet n Wild blending brush and kind of put some of that crazy shade on there. And just try and fix where it's patched up. Kind of drag it out a little bit. I can fix this with powder later on, so I'm not crazy worried about that. And then I want a little bit of depth. So I'm going to go in with the shade Temptress, which is the last shade in the palette. It's right next to Crazy. And I'm just going to use an Alter Ego number 7, which is just like a pencil brush. And I'm just going to tap that on the very outer corner. Shouldn't have done my face first. Like that, just to add like a hint of depth. I don't know how well it's showing up. Oh, you guys can't see what I'm doing. I'm too zoomed in. Okay, there's that. And then I'm going to attempt to cut the crease really quick. At least like make this part sticky. Because I want to see if that will help with applying the shimmers, because the shimmer shades are they're very sheer for a sparkly shade. So I'm going to do that really quick. Alright, so I did attempt to cut my crease, keywords being attempt. I just used my AOA Studio concealer. This is like very sticky, but it also dries very fast. So like when it's spread out in a thin layer, it doesn't spread too much, which is nice. I want to use the shade, because there aren't really any red shimmery shades in this palette at all. Like you have some coppery oranges, and then you have like a couple of like neutral shimmer shades on this top row, and then it's mostly coppery oranges until you get down to like this bottom row, these bottom two rows, and then you have like this one, which is, if it's anything like the shade next, it's more purple than red. So there are no real red shimmers in this palette, but there are lots of purples, and I kind of want to use the shade Good Place, which is the third color on the bottom row. So I'm just going to take, normally I would use my finger, but since I put down a specific place for it, I'm going to just take a, this is an Alter Ego number 4 brush. I'm going to take this brush and I'm going to use the shade Good Place. I'm not going to spray it just yet. I want to see how it applies without setting spray. And if I don't like how it applies without setting spray, then yeah, it's very sheer. It's very, very sheer if you use a brush. So I'm going to use not my setting spray, but a spray. This is a facial mist from Dollar Tree. You know, there's no point in wasting setting spray. I'm gonna go back in with Good Place and kind of just, ooh, now I can feel the fallout coming. There's actually been pretty minimal fallout on this until now. But yeah, these are very sheer, so I'm just gonna use my finger because that always works the best for me. And then I'll probably have to blend it out with, because this went from being very red to very purple. Even with your finger, they apply pretty sheer. Okay, I'm gonna go back in with the Laura Lee the Laura Lee brush. It's the one that the one that I used to apply the shade Love Handles, and I'm just gonna go back in because I want it to be red. Do you see all that? I'm gonna have to fix that. I want it to be red, so I'm gonna go back in with the shade Living My Best, which is the last, it's the 7th shade over on the 3rd row, and I'm just gonna kind of blend everything together, or at least try to bring back some of the red. This is not my best eye look, but that is helping slightly. This wasn't supposed to be a review of the palette either. This was just supposed to be a palette series. But whatever. Okay. So I'm going to leave that there, and then I'm going to take the little pencil brush that we used for the shade Temptress, and I'm going to go back in with that color and just put it in my lower lash line like that, and then I have to add an inner corner highlight color, which I will do after I fix everything else that happened on my face. Okay, so I'm gonna go fix the fallout, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I think I fixed it in a way that it looks really nice. Let me zoom you guys in so you can actually see. So what I did was I took that shade, Living My Best, and you guys saw that I blended it out to kind of blend in with the shimmery shade, and then I took Temptress and I put it on the lower lash line, fully on the lower lash line from outer corner to inner corner. I then took my Milani black liner in After Dark, and I put that in the same place, so from inner to outer corner, only in the waterline instead of on the lash line. I kind of blended those two together, and then I took I wanted to use the shade in it, which is this color right here. It's the second one on the top row. I don't know if you guys can see. I've had this palette for, like, it only came out in February, so for less than a year, and it's getting hard pan on it already, which I don't think is very good, especially not for, like, as much money as this is, because while this is a good deal for the money, it's still almost $40. So that shade didn't give me as much, like, oomph as what I wanted. So what I ended up doing, and I kind of like how it looks, it's not giving full representation in the camera, but I took my Colored Rain Fashion Show highlighter. It's like a stark white glittery shade. Not really glittery, but like it's a stark white highlighter. You guys see that a little bit right there? And I wet my brush with this spray from the Dollar Tree, and I took another pencil brush and I kind of went from almost to my brow, like kind of right by my brow, all the way down to my inner corner, and then I dragged it out underneath that black color to my outer corner on both sides, and it kind of just looks like an oil slick of color on my face to fix the fallout. I did take my AOA Studio powder. This is that white pressed powder. It's supposed to be translucent. It's almost like a stark white color, so if you have deeper skin tone, don't do that, because it will not look good. And then I took the F32 brush from ColourPop, which is like this nice tapered brush. Well, if you have a deeper skin tone and you have a powder that will like let you do that, you could do that. But then I ended up going in with, because that just wasn't doing enough for me, I still had like too much darkness. I ended up going in with my Too Faced Cocoa Contour palette, and I mixed this shade and this shade together on here, and I kind of just like swept. So I did end up having to reapply my highlighter, but like I said, it looks so pretty. Ugh, okay. If you guys get anything on Black Friday, get this highlighter, like either in this shade or a shade that works for your skin tone. this is 1000% worth it. I use this for everything. But yeah, so that is today's, I guess, like, tutorial gone awry for my next palette series. If you guys are wondering what's on my lip, it is the Milani lip liner in Push It, which is part of their Salt and Pepper collab. And then I took the ColourPop Luxe lip oil and I just went over it. And that's kind of nice because the lip liner doesn't budge, but then the lip oil just gives me sheen. It gives me life. I look so pale right now, and I am so tan because of that foundation and the amount of bronzer I have on. I actually look very pale. So my thoughts on this palette are that it is good, but don't buy it if you're not going to be able to be patient with it. It is a palette that requires patience and a lot of it. Also, don't do your base first because otherwise you're going to have problems. I really like it. I do honestly enjoy it. I think, though, that you need to be really good at blending, and like I said, you're going to have a lot of patience because this does not work well at all over a wet base. It does not. It is patchy, it is choppy, it is clumpy. It does not work over a wet base. So you'd either have to let the base dry or do like a powdered base, and then you're gonna have to be patient and work with it and build them up. They do not build, I don't think, to be as vibrant, in my opinion, as what they are in the pans, but you can still get a very pretty look out of it. There's a lot of kick up in this palette, like a lot. And even after you tap off the excess, you still might get fallout on your face. So I guess this is more like a review than a tutorial or a second impression or whatever. I do like this palette. This palette for me this year is what made me start going into more than just like neutral eyeshadows, because you guys know I love neutral eyeshadows. This palette is kind of like what sparked my interest in colorful eyeshadows. You just have to be patient with it. So yes, I do like the looks I get out of this, but you just have to be patient with it. Do I think you would regret it if you bought it? Again, it depends on your particular makeup taste. If you don't like having to sit and build and work with and then go back and correct, you're not gonna like this. I don't think anybody likes doing that, but if you don't have the patience for it, then you're going to hate this palette. I really enjoy this palette though. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please do not forget to subscribe. Give it a thumbs up. I would very much greatly appreciate it. I am trying to hit 200 subscribers this year. I'm still going to have the GoFundMe for my mom's van linked in the description box. And if you guys are wondering what the heck am I talking about, I will also link my previous video in my description box so you guys can go watch that, because if I have to sit and rehash that, I'm actually going to start bawling again, and I really don't want to do that. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to subscribe and give it a thumbs up, and I will see you all in my next one. Bye!